Hey guys, Joe here doing episode 3 of PC Parts Pickup. It's the thing I do where I show that I can find the deals and show you what to look for when you're shopping in order to help you find good deals. I'm not just saying, hey look, I made this. I'm also showing you tips and tricks that I use in order to secure these deals because, as I've always said and I'll continue to say, anybody can do this. Anybody can. You just have to know how. It's just like when you start a new job, you get trained into that job, you become good at the job. I've been in the negotiation and retail end of it and the buying, selling with cars and electronics for most of my adult life. So I'm pretty good at it. So yeah, I just like talking about it. So let's start with one thing that I picked up last month that I actually sold because it leads me into something I just picked up yesterday. This is the MSI Gaming 5 motherboard with the i5 4690K. This is the one that I paid $140 for the motherboard, a graphics card, an SSD, and all that other stuff. And I sold everything, and I was into this for almost nothing. Well, I just sold this on eBay, literally just sold it this morning, and it went for $285 for the motherboard and the processor. It's pretty strong money. It's about where the trending is when you look at trending on the internets. However, last night before I sold that one, I had it listed yesterday, but before it went, I saw an ad for this. Don't know how well it's showing up on the camera. A lot of times it gets too light, but you see that there, how the ad just says motherboard for sale, $80, and it just shows a picture of a gigabyte motherboard. Now I can tell from looking at it that it's a Z97 motherboard. And what I did was I contacted the person. It was a very nice young lady, and I went ahead and went out and picked it up because I saw that it had 2 RAM sticks installed in it as well as a CPU installed on it. So I figured a Z97 board, it's going to be something in the Haswell family. So, you know, i3, i5, maybe an i7. I'd be happy with any of those because a Z97, those gigabyte boards are actually worth some money, just like the MSI boards are, especially when they're in good condition. Well, this is the motherboard that I picked up, and it's really nice. It kind of is very similar to the MSI board. It's got like LED on this side, and it's got a nice heat sink on it. I put a cooler on it to test it, but the funny thing is, for 80 bucks, I got the motherboard and another i5 4690. So yeah, I sold a 4690 and replaced it with the 4690. Not only did I replace it with the 4690, I replaced it with the 4690 that was cheaper than the other one. Obviously, since it's not installed in a computer, and you notice the P3 is not up there right now, I did not put it into a system, and that is because I'm intending on selling that one as well. I originally just wanted the motherboard. I figured I'd sell whatever came with it. So I went ahead and listed it because if I get another couple of hundred, 250 bucks for that, I can put that towards a brand new system. But the RAM that came with it is G.Skill Ripjaws X, and this is clocked at 1866, and it's a 2x4 gig, so an 8 gig kit. So yeah, I'm gonna keep that because I just put my dad's build together, and I put together an A10 7860 system for him, and I gave him all of my G.Skill Ripjaws RAM that I had on the P3, which is no longer there. So that was pretty good, and I was happy with that pickup. Now, not being satisfied with just finding one thing, obviously when I do this, and this is my first real tip to you guys, is don't be afraid to put out a lot of offers, because I don't want to exaggerate here, but for every 10 offers I put out, I may get 2 replies back, which is a 20% hit rate. And of those 20% that respond, I maybe can make a deal with half of those people. And that means that you need to put out a lot of feelers. You have to make a lot of effort to get that return. In fact, I'm going tomorrow to pick up a 4770 for 100 bucks. 100 bucks for a 4770. Now, I don't have a motherboard for it, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna just flip that processor and make 70, 80 bucks. The next thing I will tell you guys is when you set yourself a budget, be that $100 for a graphics card, and somebody comes back and they want 110, you gotta learn to stick to your guns. If you stick to your guns, you're going to make the best deals possible. If you're looking for just your private party, keeping it for yourself, not going to sell it kind of a thing, $10, $15 doesn't really matter. But if you're looking to make some money, that $10 that you're playing with there, that could be the fuel that you spend to go get it, and then that won't have to come out of your profits. But if you pay the extra $10, you're taking that out of your own pocket. So don't be afraid to walk away from marginal deals. The one exception to that rule is I have some people that I deal with on a regular basis that I will adjust 10, 15% just because they do a lot of business with me. In that regard, I'm fine with it because they're going to make up for it in the long run. However, if it's somebody that you just find on Craigslist, offer up, let go, whatever the case may be, you have to be willing to stick to your guns because you don't want them to take advantage of you. You don't want to take advantage of them. And you just want a fair and decent transaction. Moving on to what I got for myself. Now that hunt was all involved with getting my father his setup, which was again an A10 7860K, 16 gigabytes of RAM, cooler and everything, and I already put it into his computer. The other thing I want to tell you is, if possible, don't just rush out to get one thing. If I had just gone to only get the A10 7860 that I got from my father's computer, I would have just wasted the whole trip for one item, and then I would have had to go again when I got the next items. What I did was I planned out the route based on where items were from people that responded, and it also helps you factor in your gas mileage and cost for fuel. But I got the AMD stuff, and then I went and got the i5 4690K, which paid for everything. And then on the way home, somebody answered me back, and it was convenient because they were on the way, about this over here, this case. Obviously the system is all parts I've had laying around, but the case is a Cooler Master Light 3.1. It's a MATX or an ITX, depending on which way you want to go, and this will be next month's PC of the month, even though it's already done, so I'm not going to open it up and show you everything that's in there. But I got the case, and Antec power supply. However, I have to go back because he didn't give me the rest of the cables. This SSD, which is just a Micro Center store brand, but it's a 120 gig SSD, and 16 gigabytes of G.Skill Trident X 2400 megahertz DDR3 RAM. Now, most of what I build is usually DDR3 stuff, unless I build an X99 and then I need DDR4. But when I'm building DDR3 equipped systems, it's nice to have good RAM like this because it helps compensate for the differences between DDR4 and DDR3. But I got all of that for 30 bucks. The RAM alone is worth more than 30 bucks because it's 2400 megahertz DDR3. And this is a 80 plus gold rated 520 watt power supply, and once I get all the cables for it, and that's a $40 power supply. Micro Center SSDs 120 gig, they're on sale right now for 30 bucks, so it was if I had just gotten that. And then the case, which I kind of like, and quite frankly I doubt the system that's in there is going to stay in there because I just wanted to build in it to see what I had to do to get things to fit, because I actually have a 780 in there, I have an 850 watt power supply, and a bunch of other high-end stuff. So I just wanted to see what would fit. So that's about it. And again, the purpose of this video is not to say, hey, look what I found. It's to say, hey, look what you can do, what we as a community can do. And I'm not telling you to go and take advantage of people. I'm telling you to take advantage of situations that present themselves. So if you have the opportunity to buy something at a discount, take the opportunity. If you're somebody like me who is disabled and has to rely on flipping things and buying things and doing this kind of stuff to, get by, then yeah, it's worth doing, because the time that I take to do this is more than compensated by the deals I find. Anyway, if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions, leave those down below. If you have any comments, leave those down below. If you'd like to see something else, you can click over here. Don't forget to click over here to subscribe. And yeah, if you want to send something to me to review or to see if I can fix if you have something that's acting up, go ahead and drop me a line. Email is in the description. Sorry, I have a blister there. And that's it for today. So until next time, talk to you later.